My research is so compelling that it's the topic of the film, the blockbuster film, The Big Short. And while with 3 minutes I don't have time for appearances from Brad Pitt, I am very excited to be able to present this research to you, set in the context of the financial crisis of 2007 to 2009. The crisis has befuddled many people who sought to understand how is it that these very sophisticated firms were blindsided and were overexposed to mortgage products. I seek to answer this question by focusing us in on one set of key decision makers, the board of directors. In the U.S. financial system, which is the envy of the world, the board of directors is tasked with monitoring management and helping set the strategy of the firm. So in looking at boards, I ask you this question: which board would you rather have? A board that has financial expertise. Everybody in this industry has essentially spent their career in finance, like you see on the left. On the right hand, I have a board that's marked by a far greater range of industry experiences, including, for instance, academia and technology. The board on the left also would have been homogeneous among other measures of diversity. As you can see, it was all males. The board on the right, on the other hand, would have rated higher in gender diversity and racial diversity. Countrywide, and the board on the left, was a company that was the largest originator of mortgages in the run-up to the financial crisis. Countrywide ultimately lost over $20 billion in shareholder value and was eventually acquired by Bank of America. In contrast, Wells Fargo on the right was declared by The Economist to be the biggest winner from the financial crisis and was able to double its assets, even in the heart of the crisis, to over $1.5 trillion. So in my research that examines all banks in the United States over a 9-year period, I'm able to perform empirical analysis supplemented with interviews to understand exactly when does diversity matter. When can the benefits of diversity come to the occasion? Because in business, scholars have struggled to find the role and influence of the board of directors. But I argue that in a crisis like this one is when the board has a chance to shine. And in fact, it's in these moments that we contrast and compete two different hypotheses. On the one hand, like-minded groups of people can often act more decisively and reach decisions more quickly. On the other hand, diverse sets of people are more likely to have more ideas brought to the table and are less susceptible to groupthink. So by comparing these two expectations in the heart of the crisis, I'm able to make a contribution that helps us understand not just how can we avoid banks that are too big from fail from bringing our entire system to the brink of collapse, but also something that informs life for each one of us as we are parts of groups of people. How can we, as groups of people, make better decisions? This research is important, as I think you can recognize. And even though I don't have any special effects or a star-studded cast, I hope that my research is able to make a dent in avoiding crises like these.